you're looking for a mentor, partnership, someone that's actually going to help you like customize a plan, then there's no question this is where you want to be.
Welcome to another episode of Addison Real Estate Podcast. Today I have Kimberly Barreto. She is one of our newer agents, not too new, about 2 years at Addison Real Estate. And we're just going to go through her journey as a realtor. And we'll probably talk about her very fancy Lincoln car, which she's obsessed with, and
Yes.
her hatred for Teslas. And
Real. It is so real.
and we will go from there. The question I usually start off with is what kind of brought you to the industry in general?
So my family, my parents really, my mom's a lender and my dad has been a realtor for all my life. And when I was in high school, I remember I think junior year of high school, I wondered like, what am I gonna like get into after high school? And my dad was really the first man who like planted the seed, essentially. And I just never saw myself doing anything but that because I saw success through them. So right out of high school, I kind of went right into real estate, and it was a rocky start, obviously, just like for any new agent.
Yeah.
But my dad was really the one who was like, you gotta be 100% or don't do it at all. He was the one who was like, you're quitting your part-time job and you're doing this full-time right from the start. And I remember being like, well, how am I gonna like pay for gas and have money like at all, because I know you don't get paid like right away, obviously. And he was like, you can't like do both. Like you have to do one. Like you got to be fully committed. So he was really the one who made me go through a really rough first year. And that first year was brutal. It was really bad. And at the time there was a lot of short sales. So that was like my first few deals were short sales. So they were like really painful. Yeah.
That is brutal.
They were really painful, but I learned so much through those deals. Like I'll never forget all the things I learned from those kind of clients and those situations. They were very complex. So I have him to thank for it. It was a very rough year, but it really set me off to a full-time commitment to this day, which that was in 2016.
Yeah. So how did you go to college or high school right into real estate?
No college, just straight into real estate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how old were you when you started?
19.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were still technically a teenager.
Yeah.
That's
19.
really, really young. You don't see agents. Well, the average age for an agent nationally is 55 years old.
55?
55.
Wow.
So it's a middle-aged person job.
I'm not
But
mad.
yeah, 19 is really young. And to start off short sales as your first type of sales, that
They were
must
rough,
have been.
man.
Yeah.
There were short
super
sales,
rough.
there were foreclosures too. They were just the worst of the bunch. And I think it might have been done on purpose. I don't know. I should ask my dad. Because yeah, man, they were rough. And there was a lot of yelling, a lot of emotions. And yelling from like stressed out people, just like what is going on, and like, oh my God, it was a lot. It was a lot. That's really like you learn how to control and manage expectations, like manage people's emotions, because that is people's livelihood on like the line. So yeah.
So real estate is not just cashing in checks and walking away.
No.
The deal's done. Even after the deal's done, you still have clients texting you, asking questions.
Yeah, for sure. This is not a wholesaling sunset real life industry.
Yeah.
It really is like relationships, which I adore. I love that about it. I think that was like my biggest connection was the relationships that I built, because like right before that I went to cosmetology and I was doing like hair, makeup, and I just remember thinking like, dude, this is like such a like lifeless. I'm sorry, not to like throw people down like down the drain for what they do. I'm sure people are very passionate, people are very great at it. But it's just like the conversations were very like surface level and like not significant to me, at least. So when you go from like the world of like beauty and like hair, makeup, nails, and you go to real estate, it's a totally different world. You're having completely different conversations with.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of families, and the conversations are alone are like just totally different. And so I loved that right away. I connected with that right away.
Mm-hmm. And what made you go from, you were at several brokerages beforehand. So how'd you go from all those brokerages to landing at Addison Real Estate?
So the first one was just because my dad was with, it was a very small mom and pop brokerage, very good split. And I didn't really look into anything because I was like, I'm just going to follow my dad wherever he's at. And my brother was with him too. So I just followed their steps. And then from there, we went to Keller Williams and we were just like, this is a big corporate company. Like, let's stick with, I don't know, the big corporate company and learn what we can. And I stayed there for like 5 years, switched into a smaller boutique. And really at that point, when I was at the boutique brokerage, I said, you know what? I have nothing wrong to say. Like nothing went wrong. Really, it was more the personal connection that I was looking for that I find here. It's just, you can't compare. The relationship I built with Kelly, with you, is like, you can't measure that, and you can't really find that in my own experience, you can't really find that in a big corporate or in my experience in a smaller boutique, because I don't know. It comes down to the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes down to you and your personality, Kelly's personality. Like, you make it so that we can talk at any time. I can be my weird, quirky self and it not be like,
Send the 5-page email.
Literally, I can go on forever. And so that's something that you can't find. Like, you're not anywhere else, you're here. So I'm here because of you and Kelly. Really, you guys are just, you can't put a number on you guys.
Yeah. And we definitely do have a lot of quirky and different personalities at the office, for sure. So
you wouldn't know that right off the bat. Like, you look at us and we're just like, oh, just a normal bunch, but really we all have our little
quirks and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have. Well, first of all, our broker Kelly is like punk rock.
Yeah.
She has her hair shaved with like a half mohawk, something to the side. Love you, Kelly. And then we have people into like those heavy metal bands, and you have people who are just very posh wearing their suits, and then you have people who are just super casual. It's just, we have agents from all over the place.
All over.
And do you feel like, even though everyone's different, do you still feel like you fit in?
Yeah, we really do. I feel like complement each other, because we're not like, everyone's just doing their own thing. We're not like in each other's lives like too much where it's like weird, but it's like just enough where it's like, I can count on you. And I know, like, if I need something, Carlos, I needed a last minute thing up in a listing up in Independence, and he was like right away, like, let me go out there for you. Like, those little things mean so much. Those little things, like, we really are there when I think you really need it to help. Yeah. And I see it all the time in the conversations. Like, everyone's like always trying to help each other. You with the sign, like, amazing.
Oh yeah,
brought it all.
Would
like,
you still have my sign?
I do still have it. It's on another listing, at least, not just thrown in the garage. But
yeah.
But yeah, those things mean a lot. So that's just awesome. By the way, if I can just say, when I first met Kelly, I remember it was one of the
one of our lunch and learns. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I instantly like intimidated, because I'm just like that. I like shrivel up. I'm like, oh my God, she looks like she can like beat my ass. And then when I first spoke to her, I think I talked to her that day actually. I was like, oh my God, she's really nice.
Yeah, she's like the nicest person ever.
So nice, like so down to earth. And I almost like got mad at myself, because I'm like, you really like, you think that someone is a certain way, and then when you talk to them, they might not be at all who like you might think they are.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I thought that was awesome. So yeah.
And I know you were at your brokerage before, and you feel free to not name or name, do whatever you want. And we were having a few conversations. I know we were talking with Rachel, like, oh, like, what's Kimberly doing? Is she thinking of a change? So I know you said it was a little bit of...
So random, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was a little bit of you saying you want a more personal touch.
Yeah.
But when we were texting or maybe communicating with Kelly, what was like, you know what? I'm going to make the choice to move to Addison Real Estate. What was the cherry on top for you?
It was how personal you guys were, how custom, like that conversation, everything we set up that day that we talked, all the custom little details to me. Like, you guys didn't just give me some cookie cutter answer or plan. It was so detailed to me and what I needed. And I was able to the fact that I was able to open up and tell you guys what I was going through, like emotionally and also financially. And, you know, I don't just open up like that. But for some reason, it's like a gut feeling like, you know what? I can do this with them. They trust me. I trust them. And you gave me like a solid plan, a solid roadmap that I can follow. It's approachable. It wasn't like too much to swallow. It was just, I think, everything I needed.
Yeah.
That was really it for me.
And I think there's definitely, we have agents who produce on all different levels here. And Kelly producing so high when she was like full-time selling. But there's definitely like, you're not really intimidated by anyone here. Like
No.
it's very, you can have those conversations with people, and people
Everyone is
are very
approachable.
Yeah, everyone's very approachable.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm willing to share like what works for them, what doesn't work for them.
no one's hiding anything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like when I sit down with Martha at one of her open houses, like she is just loaded with information and will tell you like this worked for me or this was garbage for me. And that
she's black and white. She's like, don't do that.
I love her. Absolutely adore her. But yeah, that's a big thing because you would think like the bigger agents that are making, more annually would just kind of be like, closed up. But no, not at all. Not here.
Yeah. It might be a dynamic at some brokerages where it's like, you're not really worth my time.
Yeah.
An agent that's so big that's like, hey, I'm super busy right now. But we have crazy busy agents, but it's never like you can't.
Never crazy.
Yeah, they don't lose that human touch.
No.
From where you started, because when you came to us, you didn't even know what a CRM was.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I think about that now. I'm like, wow, I really didn't know.
Like what, 7, 8 years in real estate?
Yeah,
You know what a
7.
CRM was? Yeah. And how do you think Addison Real Estate has impacted your business?
Well,
from
just
where you started when you came to us to now.
foundation wise, 100% did not have one. I think maybe because of the way I got into real estate was just like craziness. I kind of just, since it worked for me, I just kind of just kept going and doing the same thing. But here, and that's so funny because after so many brokerages, here I found out that you need a freaking CRM.
You do need one.
And one of my first questions was like, what's a CRM?
And I know me and Kelly looked at each other like
disco scratch or whatever it's called. Yeah, literally, I didn't know. And now today, when I look at it and I'm using, I'm like, this has helped me so much with things that I didn't even know existed. So that alone is like career changing for me, 100%.
And you think there's been any trickle down effects in personal life when it comes to doing business here versus other places?
You know what? I feel like a lot of things are tied into each other. And so the organization that I got from the CRM system actually helped me organize my own personal life and kind of coordinate it to what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, it has affected me in a personal level or helped me just organize everything really.
Were you thinking, oh, if this organization and this structure helped with my business, then there's a good chance it helps with personal life? Was that kind of the train of thought?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, actually. I'm like big with like home duties and my cleaning and my cooking.
Dishes. I know you mentioned the dishes a lot.
I'm crazy in here. Like I cannot see a dish or I will be like just like it'll be like in the back of my head all day. But with cooking, you have to be so like ready to like do things in a certain order, obviously. And so it all ties in together, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think kind of going off topic a little bit, with having the foundation set at a brokerage that's showing you, hey, you need to have these things in order. Now that you have an established foundation, how do you think you handle the highs and lows of real estate? Emotionally, all the craziness, you have some crazy clients, business being slow, business being booming. Like, what do you kind of do to help yourself go through that?
I think because I've been in this industry for so long that I've learned a few years ago that if you just really prepare your clients in the beginning, like you really tell them the truth from the beginning, the whole transaction is really normal and just kind of, is what it is. It's not anything. Nothing is that crazy where people are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got in, it was like I didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I would kind of tell them what I think was going on. And
Everything's going to be fine. Your short sale is going to be so easy.
Yeah. And oh my God, no. People respect when you're just like honest with them from the beginning.
Yeah.
And like I almost like set expectations kind of low. Like this could be really rocky for us.
Yeah.
But, just stick with me and I'll like, prepare you for each phase and we'll be fine. And then when it goes smooth, it's great. At least, we're on the same page with everything.
Yeah. Because when you tell clients up front, hey, this is fine. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be smooth sailing. Even your smoothest real estate transactions have something.
Yes.
My fastest closing ever was 21 days, 3 weeks. And he was buying all cash. It was a condo. The inspections are limited, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there was still an issue during inspections.
Right.
It was small, but it was like something always pops up.
Right. 100%.
Whatever it is. My
whole thing is, and I really do get personal with my clients. Like we will text at all hours, and I really make them feel like they can reach out at any point. Sometimes it could be abused because it'll be like 10 p.m. and they're texting me, and I've learned to like kind of
boundaries.
Kind of put an end to that because it kind of got crazy. But nonetheless, the fact that you feel that you can I feel like is a good thing, and I don't mind it. If it's like Sunday at 7 p.m. and you text me and I'm really not doing anything, I'm gonna answer you. There's no reason, and I feel like people want that. Just a simple response, like what is so crazy? Unless like you're at like a wedding or something, you know what I mean? Like something, I don't know, you're at church or something, you really can't answer. Then like I understand, but really I will stop what I'm doing and respond to people. It's really not that crazy.
And you said you get very personal in your transactions. What would be the most rewarding part of this business? Is it those personal connections?
It really, not to be corny, but it really is the relationship. And the reason why is because when I'm going to say like 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 of my clients come back to me, it's because of that. It's because of the relationship. It's not just a transaction, not with any one of my clients. Genuinely, I could say that. Not with any one of them. It's personal and it's long term. I'm not looking to please them, really. I'm looking to execute my job as best as I can. And because of that, we have a strong relationship.
Now, what is a big misconception that people have about realtors?
I'm just going to say right off the bat, most of them are true. Most of them are true. Okay. Some realtors really do not care for their people.
No, yeah, that is true.
People are just out here being sharks, snakes in the grass. I think that it just becomes like who your relationship is with, right? I feel like for me, I have a lot of family clients. They're all families. And so when I'm looking at like husband and wife, kids and everyone, I'm like, you know what? I want to find them that place that's like going to be everything they've wanted. It is so exciting for me. It becomes like almost like a matchmaker, truly. And I love that. I've done that with quite a bit of friends. It's so funny. It's like my thing. But for me, that misconception of people just like, I guess putting you in any house, that might be it. For me, at least. Yeah. No, I, if anything, I'm the agent that's like, no, let's not put an offer in this house. I do it all the time. And I almost like kick myself later because I'm like, the house really wasn't that bad. But then when I look at it like 5 years from now, I'm like, they will probably get like sick of it or it'll be too tight. Over time, they're going to outgrow it. And I know like it's a whole like cycle because some people like move out after like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
But if I know it's like they really want to find their forever home, then I'm not going to put them in the house that I know they're going to outgrow quickly.
A good agent is not just making the sale. And I was actually thinking about this when I was on the run the other day. I was thinking, like, don't worry about keeping the deal, worry about keeping the client.
Yeah.
And a good agent, like a lot of us worry about, is not just this sale, but is this client going to be happy?
Yeah.
When we sit down with them, we have our buyer's consultations, which every agent should, even if it's like a Zoom call, whatever it is, you're asking them, what is your midterm plan here? What's your long-term plan? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to be the agent who's just sold them this house for the quick sale and then they hate it.
Yeah.
Because that's not a repeat client.
100%.
You didn't want to lose the sale, but you did not focus about losing that client.
Right.
And that's what's super important.
In my buyer consultation, that's one of my questions I ask like towards the end. It's where do you see yourself in 5 years from now and in 10 years from now? And usually that gives me the roadmap as to the kind of house that they need. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. You have to be looking out for them long term. Mm-hmm. It's not just like the year sale. Now, some people are like, I just want to buy something for now and kind of have like a starter home. The minute they say that, then all bets are off. Like, it's fine. We're going to find you something that's going to fit all your needs right now. It might not be your favorite. It might not be the kitchen that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get you some place that fits everything that you need, not necessarily what you want.
Yeah. And they're fine with that. That's what they're looking for at the time.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's funny because some people will say that, and then when it comes down to it, they realize they don't want to settle, which is kind of hard to navigate. But then I have to be the constant reminder in a nice, gentle way, obviously.
And do you find clients trust you way more when they see you taking away the sale? Because they're like, wow, she's actually looking out for me. Like, she knows what I'm looking for and is stopping me from just settling on whatever it is. For, let's say, the people who want a forever home. In the moment, I kind of get a quiet response. Mm-hmm. It's happened quite a bit. And they kind of like retreat a little bit. They kind of like close off, like, why are you, like, it's almost like, do you think I can't afford it? Like, do you think like I don't deserve it? Yeah. And at the end of the sale, they always come back and say, by the way, thank you for doing that. Like, for not letting me go into that deal or going into that property. Mm-hmm. I've heard it so many times, and it's always like reassuring that I'm doing the right thing. In the moment, it might feel weird because they're probably like, why wouldn't you? Why shouldn't I? And all the questions are there, but it's worth it at the end. And with dealing with clients, you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but what is the biggest mistake you've made as an agent? There's a lot of mistakes we've made.
There's one that will haunt me forever. To this day. Oh my God, I feel so terrible to this day.
We can always cut it out if you regret, but
it's okay. It's a really big, and this will be helpful, I'm sure, to anyone listening, especially the new agents. This was like my maybe 3rd year into real estate, so I should have known by now. But I was helping a buyer. They were coming from, I think, the Bronx, moving into New Jersey, and it was a 2-family that they were looking to purchase. Mm-hmm. They were looking to live in one of them and then rent out the other one to either a tenant or to family. They didn't care. We got the sale done. I never checked with the listing agent nor the attorney if there was like a lease agreement, if the tenants were like there for a long time or when they were moving. In my mind, I thought once you close, like, people just leave.
Oh boy. So
I never checked. So the day of closing, the guy had like brought all his stuff in from Bronx to New Jersey, mm-hmm. and the property was still filled with people. Like, the tenants were still there. It wasn't even owner occupied. It was tenant occupied.
Oh my gosh.
So he was like, oh, these people are still here. And I was like, oh, that's not right. Like, let me find out. And then I don't know who I spoke to. I don't remember anymore. But whoever I spoke to, maybe the attorney, was like, yeah, no, they have leases there for like another year. The guy, and first of all, it was his first home. And this is what I loved about him. He's like, he was like a first generation, I guess, immigrant. He came here from, I don't know, I forget where exactly. Such a long time ago. Mm-hmm. This is the only client that I haven't spoken to. Oh, there's that one guy. And I was just so proud to help him find exactly what he wanted. And mm-hmm. then for it to end like that, I was devastated. I said, I will never forget to ask what the leases are. Like, when are they supposed to leave, or to have it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was and they weren't leaving for like a year.
Wow. And the attorneys didn't even ask? Like, I mean, you dropped the ball, but the attorneys also dropped the ball too.
Nobody asked.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody asked. And that was a referred client to me from like an old friend, his mom's friend, something like that. It was like a refer.
Did you ever find out what happened? Or you're just like, I want nothing to do with this. I'm running away.
No, I did try to follow up with him. I didn't just like disappear. That would be worse. I feel like that's so
yeah,
much worse.
That would be worse.
I did keep up, and he was actually really nice to me. And he was like, I know you didn't know. No, like he was very understanding to my surprise. Like if it could have been any crazy client he could have sued me. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
He was super nice about it. And I did follow up with him. He obviously didn't move in for like a year.
Mhm.
Over time, I think he eventually did. But we didn't keep close communication.
I could imagine.
That was the biggest learning lesson, Isaiah. You have no idea. It was devastating. That's rough, man.
That's rough.
That was rough.
I've been there. You get that, like, your heart just sinks down into your stomach. And it's like,
I think it's worse when it's something physical like that.
Yeah.
When people are moving their things, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of money, but a lot of time and actual stuff at a property. Versus like you can mess up something on like a contract, and, things like that.
Yeah.
It's like
those can use, you can fix those and stuff like that.
Dates or expectations, whatever. But when it's like a physical thing going on, oh my God.
Yeah. That guy probably had his truck ready, packed, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
And you're coming in from the city and you're bringing all your stuff.
I would have been pissed, not going to lie.
And like, where do you go after that?
Was he renting? He was
renting, but it was all up. It at least was up. Like he had it all so that was his move-in date.
Oh,
so he was like out of his place too. He was like, dude,
that's
so
insane.
Horrible.
Well, on the flip side, how do you feel like you build trust with clients?
It comes back down to honesty, 100%. Setting the expectations, knowing what your client wants. What do you want? Insert the Ryan Gosling. What do you want? Literally, what do you want? Tell me what you want. And if I can make that happen, I'll tell you.
It's setting the expectations.
Yeah.
Right. Even though you didn't have that, probably had a buyer's consultation, but you're physically showing them like, hey, listen, this is what a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, full finished basement house is going to be in this area or whatever area it is. And definitely setting those expectations up front just helps so much more. And I think your client, like you said, they trust you more.
Yeah. It also, I feel like, matters that you as an agent actually enjoy that. Because if you dread doing showings, then your energy is just off and people feel that. Mm-hmm. For me personally, since I was 5 years old, I would go to showings with my father or to his open houses. So I loved going to houses. Mm-hmm. I just love like looking at different everything. I just always loved that. I thought it was like super cool. To this day, I love that. Like I would like to tour houses. Like I don't mind going. Even if I go alone, like I'll see a listing for my buyer. So to avoid like them going out and wasting their time.
A little sneak peek.
Yeah, I'll do that. And I genuinely enjoy it. That's the legwork that I actually enjoy. But if you're an agent that you really don't want to do that, then maybe just be a listing agent, I guess. But don't go in there with the bad energy because it will like show.
Yeah, they'll get a sense for it. You're not as like vibrant, and you're not as energetic, and you're not giving them ideas on what they can do.
Kind of annoyed to be there, like the energy's all off. I'm all about energy, and if your energy's off, even if you're a buyer that like is kind of quiet, I can still kind of sense if like you're really into what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then it's also like common sense too to see like, all right, this is a shitty house. I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat. Let's get out of here. Don't be an asshole and be like, yeah, this is great, isn't it?
Don't treat your clients like they're dumb. Like they see what you see for the most part. Mm-hmm. And I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, I think sometimes they're kind of gauging you. Like, is this person going to try and sell me something that I know is not what I'm looking for or not in the condition we like clearly see it's in?
Mm-hmm. I kind of mirror the situation to myself. Like, if I was buying this for myself, would I want to be here? Would I want to like actually put an offer? And if my answer is no, then most likely their answer is no also.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do that. Or at least I think you should.
Yeah. And so, like you said, you love touring homes. I know that's kind of a fun question is, what's your favorite type of home to do a showing for?
Victorian houses.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
The older, the better.
Beautiful. Yes, so much architecture. Usually fireplaces in every room.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love. I think that's super cool. I love them. Love them. Super high ceiling. Sometimes they have like what is it called? Like a round. It's kind of like, you know how bay windows are round and out, like protrude from the property. Some of them have like a round room coming
Mm-hmm.
out, and like a little cone at the top. It's super cool. It's very
Yeah,
like,
it has a name. I forget what it's called
yes,
though.
I can't remember. I love that. Those are my favorite types of homes.
Those are nice because they have, well, the basements are typically very scary.
So scary. And they're never finished.
No, they're never finished. And it looks like you had 10 people down there just chopping at it with picks. That's what it looks
Yes.
like. But those Victorian homes, they have the beautiful wallpaper,
Ugh,
the nice
yes.
designs. They'll have like what is it? The butler staircase or
Yep.
something like that. It's like a little, very nice,
Yep.
very nice homes.
Butler stairs. Yeah, everything is like in the back and smaller for butlers. Like, so everything.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love them.
help.
The marble, everything. Oh, it's so beautiful. That's when I feel like people took their times to build homes. Obviously, all they had was time.
Yeah.
Granted. But I mean, there's so much beauty and charm. I would take that any day over like the new cookie cutter, black and white and gray modern homes.
Don't even get me started. That I post about that all the time. I in Rutherford where I lived, there's
not
a
a lot
mix.
of houses there. A
What?
lot of nice houses there in Rutherford.
Beautiful homes. They're
Historian homes.
beautiful historic homes. They're homes that are so gorgeous, and
So beautiful.
the older ones that have been flipped and turned into the most hideous black and white things I've ever seen in my life. All they needed was a little bit of character.
Yeah.
And they just get knocked down. There was this one gorgeous, ginormous Victorian home. And I'm talking probably 3,500 square feet, 4,000 square. It was ginormous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had a bad feeling about it. I had such a bad feeling about it that they were going to destroy it while it was under construction. They kept the structure, like the building, but it had like I guess it's a rotunda. I don't know, with the little cone.
Yes.
Yeah. And they destroyed it. They made it all gray on the outside, all white and gray, and the kitchen was completely gutted, and they just destroyed it. I was pissed.
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking. You're losing not only the character, the charm, but like that unique thing and like the time period.
Yeah, it's just gone.
It's all gone.
It's just gone.
It's reminiscent of Teslas and Tesla Lincoln.
Oh, so let's talk about the Tesla Lincoln thing. So
it's the same concept.
For the people who don't know,
same exact.
For the people who don't know, Kim came with a normal car, and then she was raving about a Tesla.
Was I?
Yes.
I guess I was excited when I first got
You were
it.
very excited. And tell us about your Tesla experience.
I got rid of it after like 4 months, I think, of having it. Number one, the battery anxiety. I'm not here for it.
I like that term, battery anxiety.
Oh my God. You run out of energy so quickly, or at least the model that I had was 2020, I think. And like, you know what got me? Because I live in an apartment. I don't have a home charger.
Yeah.
So you have to go to a charger, right? I remember I went to the charger like I always do, a Wawa by where I live, connected the stupid car, went inside a Wawa to grab like a drink or something. And I came back and as I was walking out, there was a car like passing. So I was just waiting. And then I like look up and you just see all the same freaking Tesla. Like we all look like just a bunch of eggs, a bunch of sheep. I was like, I cannot believe that I'm about to walk across the street to my sheepish car just to be like everybody else. And I it was like that moment that I was like, I can't be here. This is ridiculous. And I was just so mad at myself that I was literally a sheep. Meanwhile, my mom drives one, my grandpa, my brother, my uncle, everybody.
So everyone in your family is a sheep, is what you're saying.
Everyone's a sheep, I'm sorry. And they all know it. They were all, I tell them all the time. But it works for them because they all have home chargers.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a giant inconvenience. And because I'm always traveling as an agent, it was like, dude, I'm charging like in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. This is absurd.
That's brutal.
It was so much. And by the way, you have to sit there for like an hour, 45 to like 50 minutes to fully charge it. And I have to fully charge because I'm using it like full blown all day, morning to night, literally. So it was a nightmare. It was the charging thing and then feeling like a sheep.
Yeah. And now you have your precious Lincoln that you love to death.
You have no idea.
So tell us about your Lincoln. What model and year?
It's a 1997 Lincoln Town Car Cartier X Series.
Very fancy.
It's the most beautiful, antique-ish looking car. I love it. You look at that thing and you just think of like 50s.
Oh yeah.
It's a 90s, it's a 92, I mean 97, but it looks like, I don't know, like when Kennedy was president.
That is the biggest trunk I've ever seen on a car.
Oh my
You
God.
can legit fit like 4 people in that thing.
100%. It is so comfortable. The ride is so, I can't believe I'm talking about this. I talk about my car all the time. I feel like I'm a broken record, but like Brandon has probably heard and he hasn't heard the end of my love for my Lincoln. Um, it's just a comfortable ride.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit in it all day. I love it. The leather is so plush and comfortable, and the ride is freaking smooth. It is
I know
so
you told
smooth. It's
me.
very floaty. It's so smooth, and I absolutely love it. So when I'm going on drives, I don't care how far I'm going because the longer I'm in my car, the happier I am.
Have your clients made any comments about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had like 2 of them. They're like, oh my, they all love it, or at least they say they do, which whatever, it's fine if you don't. They were like, really? It's like the last thing they would imagine that I drive. I'm just like this tiny little 4'9" girl popping out of this giant boat.
You're a midget, I'm sorry.
I'm small. I'm very small. And it's just so fun. I love my car. It's so much character. You don't see them. And by the way, I have to do a massive shout out to Brandon, because if it wasn't for his expertise and how to like bring a car up to life, up to date, really, it wouldn't be driving as good as it does. It's just, it feels like a 2020. Honestly.
It looks great. Like, it looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
So shout out to Brandon.
100%. That's all
Big
him.
shout out to Brandon.
That's all him.
And I guess changing topics as we close, part of this podcast is to, if agents come across it, to kind of show like personality of everybody. We like to learn from all of our agents because everyone has something different how they approach business. Since you are one of our more recent agents who came from another brokerage, what would you say to agents considering changing brokerages?
What are your long-term goals? If you don't know that, then like you really don't have a starting point. If you're looking for a mentor, a partnership, someone that's actually going to help you like customize a plan, then there's no question this is where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. But you have to have like the goal in mind. For me, it's having a family, and what comes with that is so much discipline and organization, and starting from the CRM.
The CRM.
That's the CRM. Starting with the CRM, it really did help me like roadmap it all.
Yeah.
And it's like detailed to what I want. I want a family. So, yeah.
And how do you think Addison Real Estate is different from all the other brokerages you've been to?
Well, definitely not cookie cutter.
Definitely not.
You're definitely not. Oh my God. I love this about everyone here. No one is pulling up to a listing in a Bugatti with the butterfly windows and showing like, this is my list. You know what I mean? It's not.
No, we don't do that.
When you're like, no one is like full of themselves.
Yeah, snobby.
Yes. Everybody is so down to earth. I'm in a sweater and leggings here with holes in them and paint. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But everyone's so down to earth, and I that's, you can't, if you care for that, then this is your cup of tea. But if you don't really care and you're just someone that minds their own business and just wants to do business from, wherever, then at the end of the day, it comes down to what you want to do.
Yeah.
And the work that you put into it, because it doesn't even matter what brokerage you are. If you don't put in the work, nothing even matters.
Yeah. Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't even matter.
You can go to the number one team on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And do nothing.
Yeah.
Or you can be on the worst team on the planet and crush it.
Yeah. 100%. It doesn't even matter.
And I think that's, I think you did learn that once you came over. You were kind of like, wow, there is a lot of stuff that it's probably not the brokerages. It's probably, I know you did a lot of inward reflecting when you came over.
Yes. I guess the timing too. The systems that I learned. Oh my God. Kelly's love for systems is inspiring. It's just a funnel. And that is a business.
Yeah.
She treats it like, it is business. And I didn't, I didn't look at it like that. For me, it was always just like, kind of like taking your client, work with them, do it again. Whoever comes in, all word of mouth. I never
Yeah.
really advertised or marketed. I never did any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Kelly has like this obsession and this love for systems, and it works. And it's a business, is how business should be run.
Yeah.
So that is what I learned. Oh my God, that's huge. Huge, huge, huge.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. This is another episode of Addison Real Estate Podcast with Kimberly Barreto. All of her socials will be down below. You can follow her, and maybe she'll post about her LinkedIn. She posts a lot of renovations and flips if you're ever interested. You guys have a great day, and we'll chat in the next one.